Is it possible that I walked into the theater and then walked out and witnessed the most worst MCU movie known to man? Yes, it is possible. I mean, I came into Thor Love and Thunder and saw jokes on top of jokes on top of jokes on top of jokes. Even the villain, he had jokes on top of jokes on top of jokes. I mean, it felt like Dave Chappelle. Jokes and 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 jokes. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Fader J. Back like I left something, and I'm glad you here. Yes, I'm glad you here. And this is the Thor Love and Thunder spoilers review. That's right, spoilers review. So, for the people who haven't seen it out there, make sure to not leave, hit the mute button, and watch me do this. Thank y'all so much for coming out, and I'm going to explain to you why Thor Love and Thunder is bad. I'm going to explain to you why Thor Love and Thunder is trash. Yes, I said it. This movie was very interesting to me because it gave me a headache, it made me sleepy, and I had no enjoyment. And I was warning you guys out there. A lot of people was like, well, Fatal J, just wait a minute, it could be a very good movie. And I took that chance to go watch it. But when I knew when the critics out there in Rotten Tomatoes, when I saw the critics shaming it and then putting it down, because usually the critics out there, they're big time shills. When I seen the big time shills out there giving it bad ratings and Rotten Tomatoes, I knew then this movie could not be trusted. But we're going to get into that. But before we get in that, I want to thank my Patreons and I want to thank my members. Thank y'all so much. Right now, you're getting blown up. And I also want to blow up my friend out there, Epstein Ghost, with the $5 super thanks. Thank you so much, sir. And if you want to get blown up, what you need to do is hit that super thanks button by the like and dislike button, and I will blow you up Dragon Ball Z style. Thank you so much for your support. Also, what you can do now, you don't even have to donate if you don't want to donate, but what you can do for free is watch this video all the way from the beginning all the way to the end, because it helps me a lot in the YouTube algorithm. It's even more important than liking the video. But don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, because when you hit that notification bell, it makes your boy Fader J feel oh so good and oh so swell. Yeah, now let's get into this spoilers review. We're going to check out right here the story. The story is based upon Gore the God Butcher. This whole synopsis, the whole thing is based off Gore, played by Christian Bale. And I will say, as a performance-wise, Christian Bale was the only thing acting-wise that carried this movie, and even he could not carry this movie on his own, sad to say. The story was centered around Gore the God Butcher and his daughter. She died. He went to the god Dionysus and asked him, could he bring his daughter back, because he was worshiping him more hardcore than any of his disciples out there. And Dionysus said, forget you, you freaker. You're on your own. You're all about me, and I'm not all about you. And the necro sword, it came out of nowhere and said, Gore, pick me up and slaughter all these gods. Now, that right there, that plot, that could have been a dope plot to me if they would have took a more vicious, serious route. But I kid you not, Taika Waititi, what he did in this film, he made it a parody. He made it a comedy all the way through. So, we get to Asgard, the new Asgard, and you see Thor, he's finding himself, he's trimming down, getting the weight off him. They should have did this in the end game with getting the weight off him, because this film right here, it has no significance. So he's in Asgard, and He's trying to get himself together, and the Guardians of the Galaxy are there. The Guardians of the Galaxy was in this movie. It was pointless to have them in this movie. It didn't make sense. They were just there to be there for ticket sales, and it was clickbait. You know clickbait. It was pretty much clickbait. So they leave. He finished helping them out, and then Gore comes in and then attack Asgard, the new Asgard, kidnap the kids. When he kidnapped the kids, that's when the whole plot of the movie picks up with Thor, Valkyrie. Then he finds out, hey, Jane, how did you get this Thor hammer? How did you get Mjolnir? And I hope I'm saying Mjolnir right. She ends up with the hammer. Now, she ends up with the hammer because she has stage 4 cancer. And instead of going the science route to figure out a cure, she wanted to go the Viking Norse god, right? So she found this book, and when she read the book, she felt the hammer calling her name. Why wasn't the hammer calling her name in past movies? Why all of a sudden this movie, the hammer just happened to start calling her name? So the hammer started calling her name. She sneaks up to Asgard, gets the hammer, and now she's Thor. And now she's a part of the crew, the Thor, Valkyrie, and Korg crew. And they go on this adventure to try to get the kids back. And that's pretty much the synopsis. Nothing else pretty much stands out in this movie. Now, I thought things was going to pick up when we seen Russell Crowe as Zeus. I was saying, okay, now we're going to see a dope fight between Russell Crowe and Zeus. That didn't work out. He was very goofy. Everybody in this movie was goofy. Even Christian Bale at some points in the movie was a goofy character. Very goofy. So they end up not getting helped by Zeus. And it was a scene in there. It just pretty much shocked me because MCU movies used to be kid-friendly movies, but they was dropping a lot of S words in this movie. And you had a scene where Thor showed his butt. And I'm like, man, what is going on? This is not funny stuff. So they steal the bolt. It was a lightning bolt that Zeus had. They needed that lightning bolt to contend with the Necro sword. So they used that. And I'm just going to put it like this. Blah, 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 blah. You get to the end. Jane is the one that defeats Gore the God Butcher. She ends up dying. And everything is all good again. You get to the end scenes. You see her up in Valhalla or whatever the Vikings call it. And she's up there. She see Idris Elba. And it's a nice day. It's over. It's complete. I'm telling you, I breezed through that because when you watch this movie, you're going to be watching your clock and you're going to try to say, hey, you know what? This movie need to wrap up because I'm wasting my time and I probably just wasted my money. I'm just being honest with you. If you look at the acting wise from the characters, Thor, Chris Hemsworth, he did not do it for me. Jane Foster, Natalie Portman, she did not do it for me. The actress that played Valkyrie, I kind of like Valkyrie. I really do like Valkyrie. Valkyrie is a dope character, but they didn't do nothing with her. They only used her for agendas. When she was fighting Gore, and she said, don't call me Miss Thor, because at the point when they was fighting at the end, he was saying to her, Miss Thor, Lady Thor, you're doing a good job, Lady Thor. She said, don't call me Lady Thor. So they had that agenda stuff in there, and that kind of stood out to me, kind of cringe. But Natalie Portman, she didn't do it for me. Korg, which is played by Taika Waititi, man, you're probably the most annoying dude. That Thor Ragnarok, I will give it to you. You broke the mold in the Thor series and actually made a dope Thor movie. But this movie right here returns it back that Thor has the worst franchise in the MCU. This movie right here, I pretty much rank it next to Thor the Dark World. And the only difference between Dark World and Thor Love and Thunder is that Thor Love and Thunder is full of jokes and Thor Dark World is not. Why can I say Dark World? Anyways, Dark World If it stands next to this, I will pretty much say it's the same movie. And if you want to choose one that's better, I would probably say Thor Dark World is actually better than this joint right here. I don't even know how they did that. I don't know how they pulled that off, but they did it. This movie here, it's a standalone movie, and I think that's what hurts it a lot too. I noticed Doctor Strange 2 made it a standalone movie. They did it right, they did it correctly, but because we saw a lot of uniqueness in it. But this movie here was trying to be a copy of Thor Ragnarok instead of doing something different. I think with this Thor movie, if they would have went a more serious route, because Gore the God Butcher, he was a dope villain, but they didn't utilize him correctly. You just wasted one of the top tier actors in Hollywood, Christian Bale, who can have a whole different range of acting characters that he can do, acting tricks that he can do, and really hit that element of the emotions. Now they try to hit the element of emotions in the beginning with Christian Bale, which was dope with his daughter, and they did it at the end, but the very end of the movie was very annoying because his daughter did come back. He achieved his goal of resurrecting his daughter, but the daughter, she was annoying. So now at the end, you have Thor taking care of the daughter. She calling him Uncle Thor. She's snapping jokes at him. I'm like, what is going on in this movie? It just don't make sense. So now Thor is an uncle. He's a dad. It doesn't make sense to me. They wasted Christian Bale. They wasted a dope hero. This movie here does not put a place in MCU. It doesn't have a place in the MCU. Trust me, this movie is not rewatchable, and you probably won't watch it ever again. If I had to rank this movie, I'm going to give this movie a big fat L. And you guys let me know in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you think this movie is absolutely trash? Or, Fatal J, you are absolutely wrong. This movie is good, and I don't know what you're talking about. And Taiki Waititi did it again. Get back at your boy Fatal J. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell. Because when you hit that notification bell, it makes your boy Fatal J feel oh so good and oh so swell. And I'm out of here. Ninja vanish.